Do they think of you as, that's an interesting point you say, it's a civil offence, not a criminal offence. Is this therapist, how is she with you? Is she scared of you? Does she have to have you like not standing next to her in a room? Are you allowed in a room alone with her?
No, I was allowed. No, so most prisoners you don't have, but my situation, they knew they know I wasn't a risk. In fact, all of their reports said there was no risk from him. He's a model prisoner. Yeah, because to hold you in these conditions, it's called the Mandela Rule. Yeah, so Google it. It's called the Mandela Rule. You're only allowed to be held in solitary confinement for 14 days. Because after 14 days, it starts having a detrimental negative effect on your mental health. Now, what they had to do, the prison can authorise up to 42 days of solitary confinement. Yeah. After 42 days, it goes to the government. So Shabina Mahmood, is it? So every 42 days, I had to fill out, because you have your opportunity to speak. So every 42 days, I'd speak. I'd write down saying, this is insane, yeah? I've been in here and after about 6 weeks, I started then noticing the difference in myself, which then I'm panicking about. My main thing was I was always panicking because, and then it sounds weird. I was panicking about everything, but that's because you're sat in a cell on your own, spending every minute of every day on your own without a let out or anyone to see. I went into Wood Hill Prison and I left Wood Hill Prison. I spent 7 months. I didn't see another prisoner. I didn't speak to anyone.
Would you have rather been in the main just because
in the first week I said I'd rather fight every day. So I had to fill it out. I said I would rather fight every day than have you break my mind. I'll physically fight every day. Yeah,
you might have been killed. I
might have been killed, but I might not have been killed. I shouldn't be. When I had this with the governor, so you have a meeting. I said, why have you brought me here? This has a 40% Muslim population. 50% of the people in this prison are murderers. I'm in the maximum security prison facility that holds some of the most dangerous men in this country. I played a bloody film. I played a film.
They should have found you, if they had to put you in prison, which they shouldn't have done for a civil offence, they should have found you the prison with the lowest Muslim population.
Well, here, I said, I found one, Britannia House. My solicitors found one. Britannia House has 40 prisoners. It's an open prison. There's not one single Muslim there. Why can't you send me there? Do you know what they used? And I'll tell you what they used, and I've got the paperwork for this, because at some point I'm going to do a follow-up. I come out of prison and as I said, my head was wrecked, but I need to do a follow-up because I've got what the prison used as justification to hold me in maximum security. They said that I faced further charges for breaching court orders. I don't. It's made up. So when I got there, I rang my solicitor. I said, am I getting done for more charges? So my solicitor contacted the Metropolitan Police Force and said, does he face these charges? They contacted back and said, no, he doesn't face those charges. He faces no further charges. Yeah. So then Nicola Marfleet, who's the governor of the prison, when it got to my appeal, she put a statement into the court that I do face these charges. It's like, I don't face those charges.
That's mad.
So to justify, and do you know what happened? Nicola Marfleet, the day after she gives this statement to the court, she leaves the prison service, gets a job in the IPCC on a 50% pay rise. She left the day after my court case. She got the golden handshake. Man. But they've done that. I know what they know. They know, which is what I said is, they knew what they were doing. Anyone would know. If you stick him in a room for 7 months, you're going to mess with his head. And I come out and it did mess with my head.
Bloody hell. Did you worry about your food being tampered with, things like that?
I didn't eat their food. The difference in this one to last one, which I'll just be honest, is when I was in 2018, I had £12.50 to spend a week. Yeah, because although I was a civil prisoner, they didn't give me the civil prisoner money. This time I had £60 a week. £60 a week was enough for me to buy 5 tins of tuna, 5 tins of sardines, 5 tins of mackerel. So I could buy enough.
And you cook for yourself?
No, you couldn't cook. This is the other. No. So when I landed in there, I'm in solitary confinement. And I have a meeting once a week. Now, once every 2 weeks. It's called a good board, yeah? With the governor, mental health, psychology. They all have to meet you because of the risk to you, yeah? They have to justify what they're doing. So every morning they would take me from my cell because they had to let me out of my cell for exercise. So, but you got 16 cells here, 16 cells here. They couldn't put me on the exercise yard here because all the Muslims were there. Yeah. So they didn't want their goal was for no one to see me. Yeah. They said, so to get me from over here, it was like I had the best opportunity as far as a journalist goes to see the prison system and to see the facilities and the way they hold other prisoners. So I got taken to a thing called the Separation Centre. The Separation Centre, do you remember back 10 years ago maybe, they built prisons within prisons for the jihadists. So the most extreme Muslims get taken off the wings because they're radicalising and converting, and they get put on separation centres. So, but the separation centre in Wood Hill, which is 16 cells, was empty. when I was in there. So I had 16 cells here. Bearing in mind prisons are full, yeah? I had 16 cells that they couldn't use. Then I'll get walked every morning. So my door would open at 8:30. They'd walk me over to another unit, which is a prison within the prison. So it's the biggest maximum security facility. They'd open me up on a wing there and they'd put me in there. But first of all, I'd go outside for 30 minutes. I'd walk around. It sounds weird. I'd walk around for 30 minutes. I'd do some chin-ups, do some dips because there was a little bar out in the yard. But I wouldn't see anyone. So I'd just walk around. It was just a big empty space. Then they'd put me into the unit, which is the separation centre. Now, I weren't allowed in the cells, but I got to see the cells. Yeah, those cells are travel lodge rooms. Wow. This is for the jihadists. Yeah, I mean they've got built-in mirrors on the fucking wall. I didn't see a mirror, so when I come out, it didn't matter to me what I looked like because I weren't looking at myself. Yeah, but in these cells, they've got built-in, they've got wardrobes, they've got everything.
Is that what Axel Rudakubana had, a kettle?
Yeah, they all do. Yeah, they all do. But Axel Rudakubana, when I landed in Belmarsh for the first week, and I was put on a thing called the contingency suite, which was built for Ian Huntley. It's again a prison within a prison, so you don't see anyone. When I went out on the yard walking, and this for me the experience, I've just landed in jail. I went out onto an exercise yard, which is a courtyard with and it's healthcare, so all the nurses are above. And as I went out for the first day and walked around, at every window were the nurses going, "We love you, Tommy. Well done." So I knew straight out, and do you know where Axel Rudakubana was? He was in that cell there. Do you know what Axel Rudakubana was doing? He was a cleaner. He weren't on solitary confinement. He hasn't spent a day on solitary confinement. Yeah, he had a cleaner and a job on the wing. None of them. So Salman Abedi's brother. Again, I'll get to this. So I go in there. I get moved from Belmarsh anyway. I know Axel Rudakubana's there. In fact, they gave the Secretary of State passed a law, which I've got the paperwork for. Dan Wootton come in to see me in jail, and I told Dan Wootton, Axel Rudakubana was in a cell above. He's a cleaner on the wing in Belmarsh. He ain't on solitary, yeah? I know that because the staff told me, the nurses told me he's in that room there. They have to deal with him every day, walking around the unit, yeah? So I said all that. Then the next day that they brought in NDAs that anyone who come to see me had to sign an agreement. That was because of that got out of the jail.
Oh, did Dan report that?
Dan Wootton reported it. The next day they come in and give me a Secretary of State letter from the Secretary of State. Who's that? Is that Yvette Cooper?
Don't know.
From the Secretary of State, that nothing, if I spoke the word of Southport, the word of Axel Rudakubana, my phone would be cut off. Any visits. So my visits, everything was monitored. Every second of what I said, from the minute I got in there, my phone was on live monitor calling. So everyone else's phones were from 6 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night. Mine was on for half hour and then half hour again. And when it's on for half hour, they're sitting listening. It's like, I'm not a terrorist.
What about, did you get a priest visiting you?
Yeah, I had a priest. I won't say his name. I don't want to put him in a position, but he was brilliant. He was brilliant. And the church, I'd say he was doing a great job, because sometimes the priests are so out of touch. He wasn't out of touch. He's an Asian lad. He was a brilliant lad.
91% watching Heretics clips are not subscribed. Quick favour, hit subscribe. Free, takes 2 seconds, and helps us question everything together.